Chapter 3 of The Secret Garden, A 10-Year-Old Secret. As Mary headed down the walk, she passed huge old trees, large pools with fountains, evergreens trimmed into strange shapes, and great walled gardens with built-in doors. But all these doors opened easily when Mary tried them, so she knew they couldn't possibly be the hidden garden. When the path she was following finally ended, she came to a very long wall. It too had a door in it. Since the door was open, she walked through it and found herself in a bare, ugly garden. Coming towards her was an old man with a spade over his shoulder. He tipped his hat politely to her, though the frown on his face showed that he wasn't at all pleased to see her. But Mary wasn't pleased to see him either. "What are these gardens?" she asked coldly. "The kitchen gardens, where we grow fruits and vegetables for the household." "Can I go into all of them?" "If you like, but there's nothing to see." Mary went through a door into one garden, then into another and another, hoping each time that she reached the door to the mysterious locked garden. When she came to the last one, she noticed that the wall seemed to extend beyond the garden, and that tall trees lined the other side of the wall. On the topmost branch of one tree sat a bird with a bright red breast. He stared down at her for several minutes, then suddenly burst into song. Mary listened to the song, feeling pleased. But someone seemed to be paying attention to her. The lonely little girl almost smiled as she listened to his song. Then when he was finished, he flew off. "I hope you come back and sing for me again, little bird," she whispered. "Do you live in that tree? Is that tree in the hidden garden?" On her way back, Mary found the same old gardener digging in a nearby orchard. He didn't look up from his work until she started talking about the robin. Then he gave a low whistle, and the next moment, the little bird was flying towards them. When the bird landed on a pile of earth beside the gardener's foot, the old man chuckled and asked, "Is this your first visit to old Ben Weatherstaff this season?" "What kind of bird is he?" asked Mary. "Why, he's a robin redbreast, and the friendliest, most curious bird alive. I took care of him when he first flew out of his nest and was too weak to fly back. By the time his wings got stronger, the rest of the family had already flown off, so the lonely little fellow came back to me." "I'm lonely also," said Mary. "I guess I am too, miss. Except when he's with me, he's the only friend I've got." "I don't have any friends at all," admitted Mary. "I never had anyone who liked me." "Then you and I are very much alike," said Ben, sighing. "We both frown most of the time and probably have nasty tempers too." Mary had never heard such truths about herself in her entire life. Her Indian servants had never dared criticize her, but she was beginning to realize that Yorkshire people, like Ben and Martha, were very honest and plain-speaking, and she began to wonder if she was as unattractive and nasty-tempered as Ben Weatherstaff said. Suddenly the robin's song interrupted her thoughts, and Ben exclaimed, "He has decided that he likes you and wants to be friends." "With me?" asked Mary in amazement. Then in a voice that was soft and eager, a voice that Mary Lennox had never used before, she asked, "Do you really want to make friends with me, little bird?" The old man couldn't hold back a chuckle. "Why, you sounded just like Dixon does when he talks to his wild creatures on the moor." Mary was about to ask Ben to tell her more about Dixon, but just then the robin flew up and over the orchard. "He's going into the garden with no door," she cried. "He lives there," exclaimed Ben. "That's where he was hatched, among the old rose trees. And that's where he'll build his nest when he finds a mate." "I'd love to see the rose trees," said Mary. "There must be a door somewhere." "There was a door 10 years ago, not now." "Don't go poking your nose where it doesn't belong. Now go back to your play, miss." End of chapter 3.